Prudent, how you doing? So I'd like to address some questions here. Definitely, I think this is a very interesting and a valid email with a set of very valid questions. Okay, so let me see. You were creeping on my YouTube channel. That's cool. I think it's funny when you said that, but it's cool. I mean, that's why it's there. That's why I leave those videos open. I think that the last thing I want to do is confuse any students by leaving my video critiques open. I've often thought about making them private, and I think that in a situation like this is kind of exemplifies some of the reasons why. Not that I mind you going in there and perusing through. I spend all day in there. That's why I do it to help people, and I do it to help people. I mean, I'm fine with helping people I don't even know. I mean, I've gotten emails from folks that I don't even know who have watched my videos and said, hey man, I really like what you're doing here. So one of the things I want to address is this is where it really gets important to me. So I saw some thumbnails for some just really not real pretty stuff. And you thought it would be fun to tear these people a new one. Well, first of all, that's not my style. I'm a very nurturing instructor. So I don't get off into it. I know a lot of instructors do. I am not one of them. I want people to continue with a healthy attitude, not something that would be considered discouraging. So, and then you say, now this is the part that gets really interesting. I danced around with key points in appropriate decorative fonts, alignment, hierarchy, and color. Fundamental stuff. It was like I'm omitting some fundamental stuff. And one of the things I think that you really need to understand about looking through some of those videos is that a lot of those videos are for classes where the students have little to no experience. So if I talk about alignment in a first, a student's first class in digital imaging, they're going to look at me like I'm out of my mind. Or if I talk about hierarchy or color, I mean, we're just learning the basics there. So a lot of those comments that you see there are on basic technique. And I don't even really comment a lot of times on elements and principles of design. So does that ever come to a point in time where you know someone's just not cut out for this? In that case, what do you do? Are there limitations on your mentorship? Yes, there are times where you know somebody is not cut out for this. In the old days of education, I remember reading stories about professors who would sit students down and say, hey, maybe you would be better if you were a mailman. And again, not my style. My main intention is to get students jobs. And I think that's the main intention of the online atmosphere, to get students jobs. That doesn't mean that every student is there to get the job. Sometimes students are in that class to learn basic things, and we need to start at the basic points. Okay, so is RIMCAD held to a higher standard? Well, I'll tell you what, any bachelor's program, of course, is going to be held to a higher standard than any associate program. And of course, any master's program will be held to a higher standard than that. You are at a fantastic school, Prudence. I actually recruited RIMCAD to teach here, and that's the truth. I contacted RIMCAD out of my interest to teach here. And my reason for my interest in teaching at RIMCAD is because I had seen several colleagues had showed me some portfolios that were coming out of RIMCAD, and I was like, wow, these students are good. And so no concerns there. Should you have gone to SCAD? SCAD's a great school. That's where I went. I don't see any advantage at all about even considering that you have made a choice that you may wish you have made a different choice by going to a different school. No, not at all. No, RIMCAD's fantastic school, really super thorough. Okay, so I understand you have a lot of students and a lot of questions might be planned. Hope you can understand my concerns. Yeah, I hope you get that. I don't think that it's really. I think the best thing for you to do would be the best combination of assets for you to gather while moving forward in this particular class would be getting and taking those videos from our critique board that are directed to other students. Now, everybody in this class is around the same level. That's why everybody is getting the same kind of pretty intense critiques. When you look at some of the other critiques, just realize that some of those students are just not at that level and aren't ready for that type of critique without getting super frustrated and maybe thinking that they're in the wrong program. I hope I'm making sense. I'm a very nurturing student instructor, so I work with students. I try to bring out the best in students. That said, I think that there are a lot of very, very young students that can't handle the old school, where did you say, tear them a new one? And in the old days, they used to do that. They used to tear people a new one in critique. And I think that's one of the negative stigmas of critique, where everybody's afraid of critique because of all the stuff we've heard about critique. And critique is not that. I'm not going to, try to demean anybody. I'm just going to tell you what you've done right and what you've done wrong, based on what we're learning and what your experience level is, okay? That I want to make sense to you, Prue. You're an outstanding student and you've got a phenomenal mind. And I expect good things from you. And I'm not sugarcoating that at all. I'm telling you how it is. I expect very good things from you. You're an excellent designer, an excellent illustrator, and you've got a fantastic way of thinking. So, that said, I hope I've answered your questions. Let me know either way, please, Prudence. Let me know either way, okay? It's important to me that you understand why there's a change in demeanor based on different critiques and the different situation those critiques fall on. That's the part I'm really interested in. All right, cool. Let me know. Thanks, Prue.